Today on AGetc, Eric Atkinson introduces us to Robert and Charlotte Anderson, another Master Farm Family Honoree from the 2017 class. Learn about how they got started and what this honor means to them. Then Lee Hart with Cowboy Logic is talking about what to do with a horse if they're buddy sour. And we end with Jeffery Hall, a veterinary toxicologist with Utah State University, talking about how vitamin and mineral deficiencies in cattle and could be cutting the rancher's bottom line. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
The Anderson family has been well entrenched as agricultural producers in far northwestern Cloud County near Jamestown ever since Robert Anderson's grandfather immigrated to that area. After a brief collegiate stint, Robert returned right back to the farm to partner with his father in the family dairy operation. Eventually, he met Charlotte, who was also from a farm near Wakefield. They married and made the transition into beef cattle production while keeping a hand in the crops side with Robert's father and brother as partners in Anderson Farms. And they've their own separate cattle operation, Red Maple Gelvy. In total, Robert and Charlotte account for 2,800 acres of crop ground, roughly half of that in wheat, and 1,500 acres of pasture in support of their 225 beef cows and 190 stockers and feeders. Their three children, Ryan, Amanda, and Rochelle, are all still involved in the operation to one degree or the other. Robert reflects back on the origin of Anderson Farms.
My granddad actually moved over here from Denmark, and he was a blacksmith in Jamestown. When he got an opportunity to buy this farm here where we live on one quarter, and then jumped to Dad when he got started. I think he spent a couple years in the National Guard. He was away from home, but then he started a small dairy when he got back had some income. So he started milking. He started with 10 brown Swiss cows, and it kind of grew from that. And in '78, we built a little bit bigger barn, went to a double 4 herringbone, and expanded that up. We was milking around 120 cows when we got out of it, and that was in '98.
But you made it a quick transition into beef cattle, right?
Right. Yep. We actually, there was a dairy from West Virginia that moved to Kearney, Nebraska, and they just came down. They bought the whole herd. We kept all the heifers. We raised them and bred them, and then sold them back to them as bred heifers. And in the meantime, as pastures were opening up, we were buying some beef cows. And then, I don't remember the years, but we picked up some more grass and just kept expanding the beef herd from that.
Let's bring Charlotte in. You were raised, well, not all that far from here, closer to the Manhattan area and the Junction City area, correct?
Well, I grew up on a farm as well. We had beef cattle, straight bred Herefords, and crops. And then Dad always gave us a share of cows, and then when we got married, then Dad said it's time to take your cows, and he bought out, I sold my 5 Herefords, and then that's when we bought 5 Gelvy, and that's how the beef cow, that's when we determined what breed we were going to go into. And then we just started working from there, and now we mainly did purebred because, of course, we didn't have a lot of land to work with.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for that grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer and work with you.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Now, you went to Kansas State and earned your degree in family and consumer economics. So did you have designs on being a farm wife at some point? Or
Probably not at that point. You know, it's when we went to Chapman for high school, and Dad always geared the boys toward FFA, and I was always geared towards home economics or human ecology.
And before we go any further, Charlotte, we might note that on top of your role on the farm operation, you're also an accountant with a local farm management advisory firm, correct?
Yes, correct. We're busy time of the year right now. We're just getting geared up for tax season.
But in terms of the farm itself, that's a nice mesh,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is. It really adds to your kind of staying up on what's happening, and we're just being aware of the best way to keep the books and the trends and everything.
You have these two separate entities that you're involved with, one of which is cattle and crops with your father and your brother, correct?
Right,
And that's called Anderson Farms?
right,
And then the other, the cattle operation purebred, is the Red Maple Gelbvieh.
right.
Does that arrangement work well in terms of having two separate entities like that?
No, it has.
They
I
kind of
hope
go
so.
hand in hand together, because I mean, there's a lot of things that we do for one that's, you know, for the purebred side, we're looking at what's cutting edge, and so then we can take what we're learning from that and improving our commercial herd. One of our big things is we like to top the market when we take calves to the sale barn or sell top quality. We take our heifers out, our commercial heifers out, and what we call our seconds are still real good heifers for just a true commercial cattleman. And so then we can look at the genetics and we can kind of be ahead of the other guy in the field.
Now, we've talked cattle so far, but there's definitely a crops element to this operation on the Anderson Farm side in particular, and rather diversified in that cropping?
Yeah, we are. We've expanded that now. We was all pretty much wheat, milo, and now we're planting more corn than we are milo, and soybeans, planting quite a bit of soybeans now, using it for a rotational crop more than anything, but we're all dry land, you know, raise enough alfalfa, more than enough for what we need.
Most of it is marketed as a cash grain as opposed to
Yeah.
retaining it for feeding purposes.
Yeah, we keep a little bit of the corn and a little bit of the milo for feed,
But you do have a few head on feed as well, do you not, as feeders?
we grow our calves after we wean them. Bring them. We wean early. A lot of times, first part of September, and then we'll bring them home. We'll grow them till the middle of December, and sell the first. Well, like this year, we sold the steers in December, and we held the heifers over to the middle of January. Sold them, and
Among the many off-farm activities that the two of you have been engaged in, 4-H, and your kids have gone through the program, and you've been supportive in a whole variety of ways, right, Charlotte?
Oh, yeah. From the start, I mean, it's just a good, super organization. It builds our confidence, and, you know, we've done everything from being the beef leader or the livestock leader to, you know, right now I'm back on another term, a community leader, since there's a gap in the kids. and just it's such a good organization. You want everybody to see the advantage of it.
And more broadly, you've both been involved in extension activities in Cloud County beyond just 4-H, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Robert was on extension board for a while. I'm currently on fair board, so that takes out quite a bit of the time right now.
You have taken leadership roles in the Gelby Association.
I was on the state board for a little while. We participate a lot. We go. Charlotte probably more involved in that than I was. She was secretary for the association for 10 or 12 years.
13,
whatever it was.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandring with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Well, let's talk specifically about your youngsters, and we've already mentioned them a couple of times, but just to outline what they're doing now. Ryan is a professional in agribusiness, Robert.
Yeah, he went to K-State and he minored in ag econ is what he majored in, and ended up getting hired by CTI, Concordia Tractor there in Concordia. He's kind of worked through all the ranks. He started out in sales, he's done parts, and then just recently then they've promoted him to be the store manager in Concordia now.
Your oldest daughter, Amanda, and Charlotte, you might talk about her. She's really not very far from the farm at all, logistically speaking.
No, she's in Beloit. She's worked for the North Central Kansas Planning Commission. She's a director of winterization. So she works with all like rural, small town communities. It's working with low-income families for windows and heating and winterizing their homes, and works with the contractors and just different projects.
And then there is your youngest, still at home, a sophomore in high school, Rochelle, very deep in 4-H, in athletics, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So what's her plan for life?
She's talked with her advisor, her ag advisor, and they are kind of gearing towards animal nutrition or genetics, something in the animal science field. That's where her passion lies.
Well, the last thing we'd like to ask each of you is the significance of this recognition as a Master Farm family, what it means to you. And we'll start with you, Charlotte.
Well, I think it's nothing that we worked for. Because it's something that, everything we do or have done is for the promotion of ag. It's because we feel like it's important to our families, important to our community. you know, I grew up, it was just the way you did things. And it's just quite an honor to be one of those few couples that get picked for this.
Robert?
I pretty much agree with that. It caught me by a big surprise that we were even nominated for it. The stuff we do is just stuff that we want to do. I mean, you know, I don't know what else to say. It was a big surprise to me, a big honor.
Robert and Charlotte Anderson, Kansas Master Farm Family, class of 2017.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store, covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
This is Mojo. He's a young student of mine's horse, and he's extremely buddy sire. So we're up here on the top of the hill away from all the other horses. What I expect when I start moving him here is I expect him to start talking and really focusing more on what's going on at the barn than what I'm asking him to do. And through redirection, I'm going to help this horse come back to me and get focused. I may have to disengage his hip a little bit. I may have to ask his shoulders to step through. But through those different processes, I'm going to help get this horse focused. We're going to do the same thing we were doing earlier on Cherokee, just working right here on this bridge. When this horse's head comes up and both ears go forward, I'm going to call that he's not paying attention to me at that stage. And I'm going to redirect right then. And I'm going to try and keep him where he starts looking to me for leadership instead of looking to the other horses. So we're going to get started here. I'm just going to walk him off. I'm going to really be watching for his expression. Go ahead and ask him to trot. We're going to work around this bridge. Right there, he kind of left me. I'm just going to redirect him. He's kind of pushing. Anytime I feel this horse getting out from between my legs, which means he's pushing somewhere I'm not asking him to go, at this stage I'm going to redirect. Like right now, he's pushing toward the outside. So I'm just going to redirect him. Right rein, left leg there. I'm going to move him off. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to ask him just kind of move straight down this bridge here. If I feel him, that was really nice. He's going to go faster than what I want, so I'm just going to disengage the hip here, push it around. And that's just kind of a halfway effort. There, that's better. Now I'm just going to release and let him walk out from there. I'm just going to work on. Kind of watch his horse's ears. They're staying back. He's starting to really think about me instead of about everything else. As I turn him and come back here, he kind of got his ears up. That head came up. I'm just going to redirect. What happens when a horse gets fearful of something, they'll usually flee. And when they flee, they'll go to a point where they feel safe. And then they'll turn back to it and they'll re-inspect it. Well, we need to remember that as riders and leaders for our horses. Instead of holding them in a place where they're fearful, we need to allow them to create that space. When they create that space, then move back forward. But before we lose their attention and the drive of that hip, we need to redirect them away and gradually keep working our way there. Through approach and retreat, you'll start getting that horse confident in new environments very, very quick. But once again, if I had this horse and he was really, really bothered by something, and he was in a high anxiety state, if I went to try to just hold him or beg him to stand still, he wouldn't come to me nearly as fast. And in fact, it might be like I was lighting a piece of dynamite. He may really leave me, because when they get in that anxiety state, what they are asking us for is for us to step up and to be the leader. The last thing any horse wants to do is be the leader. So anytime you get on your horse's back, always ask yourself, what is my horse's mental state today? What does he need from me? And when things aren't going right, remember, he woke up this morning, he wanted to eat, and he wanted to drink. Mother Nature wired those two things into him. He didn't wake up and say, I hope you come out and ride me. It's our responsibility to our horse, when we get on them, to be a leader and to help them through their emotions.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide, presented by Lucas Oil, featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV, the all-new Better Horses Network.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I wanted to do it. So we did it, and it worked. I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Vitamin and mineral deficiencies in a cow herd could be cutting into the rancher's bottom line.
Well, the biggest thing that we see is those animals typically come off of ranch situations at lighter weights, higher risks. So then when you commingle them with cattle from other operations, then you see another bout of major onset of disease just due to bovine respiratory disease complex, for example. Those animals that are deficient are going to be much more susceptible to disease because those animals also don't respond to vaccines well because their immune system's not working well. And so you'll have a higher incidence of both sickness and death loss in the backgrounding operations, and then following that up into the feedlot and finishing operations.
Testing for the deficiencies is a good first step, especially if there's unexplained illnesses in the herd, because nutrients vary across forage and soil types.
I do testing nationwide, and copper deficiency is fairly uniform across the United States, with as low as 51 or 52% of the cattle I test within an individual state being copper deficient, up to, in some areas, close to 75 to 78% of the cattle I test in certain states are copper deficient.
Hall says the most common deficiencies he sees nationwide are selenium, copper, and zinc. Producers who test, then create a customized supplement program, can maximize productivity and add value for both the cow and the weaned calf.
With adequate supplementation programs to get animals into the optimum for their immune health and their reproductive efficiency, the biggest thing that producers see on a regular basis is they'll see a jump in their weaning weights. You know, with even mild deficiencies, when you correct them, you'll see 25 to 35 pounds of increased weaning weight across an average across a herd. Now, with more severe deficiencies, I've seen numerous cases where we've seen 50 or more pounds increase in weaning weights.
Healthy calves result in higher quality beef. For ranchers who target premium programs like the Certified Angus Beef brand, supplementing can also mean improved quality grade.
The biggest thing is, as you correct these problems and you put overall healthier animals into the next stage of the development phase into the backgrounding lots and then subsequently into the feed lots, these healthier animals gain better, they're more profitable all the way up the chain, and they also tend to marble out better, and so you end up with better carcass characteristics and quality.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamnkansas.com.